This is Einstein's long version of his equation, his famous equation E equals mc squared. It basically says that energy of any given volume of space is equal to the four-dimensional mass plus the two-dimensional motion of that space. So if you increase the density of the mass or the velocity of the object, you increase the energy in that space. Now, if you have a smaller amount of mass, lower density, you have a second, 9.85 meters per second through time. If you increase the mass, you increase the length of a second because the mass is fixed, the speed of light is constant, the only variables are the velocity of that mass is moving and the length of a second. So when an object enters Earth's atmosphere, its mass is the same and the speed of light is constant, but the length of a second is shorter. So when it enters Earth's atmosphere, it has to accelerate in order to conserve its energy. When it leaves Earth's atmosphere and goes beyond the solar system and enters low density space, it appears to be accelerating, but it's basically the length of a second gets shorter. This is why when the rays from the sun enter Earth's atmosphere, the density of the space is increasing, and therefore the wavelength has to stretch in order to compensate for the increased length of a second in order to maintain a constant speed of light. This is also why we have the ultraviolet catastrophe, the early universe, which happens to coincide with the formation of galaxies, and as the galaxies formed, the density of the space increased, and the wavelength of light had to stretch beyond the ultraviolet, which is why we don't see ultraviolet light from the early universe after the formation of the galaxy. What else? This is also why we have blue skies, red sunsets, why wood floats, and why... Oh, quantum gravity. Here we go. If the energy contained as mass, it does through quantum interactions, and the more energy dense that space is, the more quantum interactions are required, and therefore the time slows down. So it could be an atom. So let's say this is the hydrogen atom with one proton, and that is the orbital. So if you add more protons, you increase the energy density of this space, which pushes the electron to a higher orbit as the energy increases. Basically, this is what quantum gravity is. You increase the energy density of the space, you increase the space of 1 second and the height, the orbital of the electron. Then you decrease the energy, and the electron's stuck out here and it flows off. That's how you strip electrons off of atoms, by pumping energy into the space, increasing the energy density, pushing the electron out, and then taking away the energy you just put in there, and the electron stuck out here beyond the reach of the proton's gravity, and it flies off in the direction it was going.